control of that plane in midair, what were you feeling?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've said before, it was a focused fear. I was so focused on listening to the controllers in my headset. That's the only lifeline I had, was them talking to me in that headset, because I didn't know anything about the pressurization or the autopilot or the twin engines or the turboprops or any of that high efficiency stuff. And I'd said earlier, I'd only been on that airplane one time in my life, and that was like 2 months earlier. And I'd asked the pilot at the time, another fella, how do you talk on the radio? I'm just curious. And he reached over and showed me which button to push, because I'm glad he did, because there's like 4 buttons on the yoke of a King Air. But when the pilot died that day, I had remembered where the button was, and that's when I rang up Miami Center and declared an emergency. But if I wouldn't have asked the question 2 months before, I wouldn't have remembered the answer, it wouldn't have been good, because you have no help. I mean, it's dead quiet up there.
Wow. Well, I don't want to give it all away. Roma, this is a thrilling film. It's a heartwarming film. Why did you and the Lightworkers team believe that this is a story that deserved to be told as a movie?
Well, at Lightworkers, we are committed to telling stories that uplift, that inspire, that offer hope in some ways. So when I read this script that came on my desk from Brian Eggleston, I was so impressed by it and couldn't believe that it was a true story. I mean, it's a great story, but the fact that it's a true story, I believe in the power of prayer. So it's clearly, the family are praying up there, and, through divine inspiration or whatever, they land this plane down. But it's a film filled with tension and drama. And I believe that audiences, the whole family, will be able to watch this movie and lean in and be, delivered with this fantastic ending at the end. It has all the ingredients that we want to make for a great film.
Is it Josh?
Yeah.
Josh?
Yes, sir.
Brian, the writer, he pitched this to 8 or 10 studios before Lightworkers picked it up, and there was not a lot of interest.
Okay. Well, their loss was our gain, because
it was their loss.
Yeah, it was. But we were talking earlier just about God's timing, and and the timing in this has to be right. And the story actually happened on Easter Sunday. And the fact that we're getting to launch the movie will stream on Prime starting Easter weekend, is maybe no accident. We're thrilled about that. Yeah. But we were thrilled. We were talking earlier, Doug and I, about Dennis Quaid getting to play him in the movie. And Dennis, in his own life, is actually a pilot. And because of that, when I had my first meeting with Dennis and he mentioned that he piloted planes, I thought, oh my gosh, you might be great in this script that I have. And I had him read the script, and he came back and said, I'd love to play that role. And so, once we got Dennis on board, and then we found Sean McNamara to direct the film, we cast Heather Graham, Jesse Metcalf. We put a great team together. I always say that to make a film, it takes a village. And we brought great people together to work on this, as reflected in the story. Without that village of people that were on standby to help Doug land that plane, it's like, so the film really speaks to teamwork, working together, the possibility of miracles, and the fact that it's a true story, I think, just makes it all the more remarkable.
That's so good. Well, to wrap us up here, there's a line in the film that says, sometimes you've got to trust in things you can't see. Could you reflect on that, and what is it that you hope that viewers take away from the film?
Well, to answer your first question, that's the definition of faith, isn't it? And Hebrews 11:1, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So that's the definition of faith. And I hope this encourages a lot of non-Christians to become curious about the church, about God, about his son, about his word, and to want to investigate it, for lack of a better term. And I hope that tens of thousands of people that have left the church it'll cause them to do some serious thinking about their situation, want to repent and come back. That's my hope for it.
So good.
Not just not just entertainment, Josh. I mean, it's entertaining, but I hope it's also inspirational. You know, Top Gun was entertaining, but I wouldn't call it inspirational. I think this one has both of those nouns, I guess would be. Or
I very much agree. I think you've done a phenomenal job on it, Roma and your team, and Doug getting to share your story with the world. So thank you for that, and I look forward to spreading the word about it.
All right,
Thank
buddy.
you so much, Josh. Bye.
Thank you both.